This is Surrealies.
This is Torri.
This is Mika.
And this is Bitch Let's Talk. So I'm very excited for Pop Talk World this week because it is finally happening.
I had to do it, the drum roll.
Yes. Monica and Brandy.
Finally.
Is going to be doing a versus battle. It is going to be on August 31st. And it's actually going to be live at Tyler Perry's studio.
The boy is mine.
The boy is mine. The boy is mine. The boy is mine.
I can't wait, but I'm Team Monica.
Me too.
What team are you?
Fuck both of y'all. I'm Brandy.
So you should go on that side. Come over here on the side. You the new host.
Monica's voice is just...
Fuck no.
Monica's going to out-sing her.
Okay, so let me tell you my theory. So I used to be a Monica fan, but then I went to music school, and then I had to apologize for my ignorant ears, and I was like listening back to Brandy and like, yo, she can go.
She gonna give you that harmony, that soft,
like yes,
yeah, and I don't like it.
First of all, don't come for Brandy like this. But see, Monica sounds like an old deaconess. Like
I love it.
I don't like all that vibrato.
I love it.
It's too much.
She up there with the singers with me. Like.
First of all, what Monica song can be the Brandy song?
Which
just
Brandy songs can beat the Monica?
For you, I will.
Just don't take it personal.
Don't take it.
Okay, so sitting in my room. We're not gonna do this.
That's because you were like 12. Right. Sitting up in my room.
I was more like 7.
Okay.
I probably was 12. Yeah. All of them.
Definitely a child.
So let me say this: I was a Brandy fan.
And how you convert?
Listen, I was a Brandy fan because she was a chocolate girl braid, so that was like encouraging my home. Like so. All right, whatever. Then I grew up and was like, no, let me listen to this.
First of all, like, Angel in Disguise. Like,
Monica is just
have you ever, my nigga? Like, have you ever?
They used to have me in a room crying.
Come on now.
Years old over
Monica
little boy.
is timeless to me. We didn't see Brandy. Yeah.
Brandy is timeless. She needs to get her flowers.
I mean, she got them, but no.
No, the fuck she did not.
She got them.
No.
She hit that person with that car.
And
no. Monica was like,
they will never let you live Brandy for vehicular manslaughter.
Like, this my time. Let me throw this song out here with Lil Wayne.
Brandy acted like she was married and she wasn't when she had a kid,
just
to keep up a perception.
That documentary on MTV was like crazy.
See?
And then we didn't find out till like 5 years later.
That
was like the craziest shit ever.
Monica just came out with some drama, not to take away from the verses. We excited, but you know all the stuff that Brandy done been through. Monica done been through this one thing with C Murder.
Did she dating him?
They was dating before he got locked up. Yes, they were together. Then
Monica,
he got
she just got a divorce though, right?
She loved her niggas.
Right, so she had 2 divorces. I think the first husband killed himself, and she had his kids, something like that. And then
I don't remember that.
She was married twice.
She was only married once.
Yeah,
I thought she was married to Rocco.
No, that's the most recent one, right?
I believe that's the most.
No, the most recent one is Shannon.
Is like
Shannon.
Shannon.
So maybe that was her boyfriend then. Sorry, Monica, my bad. Okay.
But she got you see she has a type.
Right. Yeah.
No judgment, sis.
Yeah. But I'm excited for this version.
I'm wondering if they want to like perform though, since they're going to be live. Then what the hell they going to Tyler Perry studio for?
I think so.
They have to. They're in Tyler Perry studio.
Yeah.
And they might just perform "The Boy Is Mine."
That's it.
That would be cute.
And that's how they going. That's how they go open it up. Okay. I'm excited. Where you watching it at?
I don't
on my phone.
Okay.
On my TV. Oh, because it's Apple now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Apple TV?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So Timberland and Swiss Beats shopped it to and not Tidal, but no shade, but they did it with Apple Music. So I guess it's a bigger coin.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to help them with their streams.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I think it comes on 6, 8.
That's early.
I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure one because I wanted to put it on my projector and have like a watch party.
That would be cute. I'll come over.
Okay.
You gonna make some dessert?
I am.
Okay. I'm definitely going to be there. So yeah, I'm very excited. So we'll see. I'm gonna be texting y'all hoes, and I'm just gonna be like, your girl got shitted on. Okay.
First of all, Monica gonna come up in something of perfection with her style.
Now, granted, that album that she did with Missy Elliott,
yeah.
I think it's like After the Storm.
It wasn't Brandy.
Something Storm. Shut the fuck up, bitch. What you not gonna do? You're not gonna come in Moesha like that, okay?
Brandy should have got like the little lace front braids that all the girls.
So wait, she confessed that it was a wig.
It could not have been a wig.
It was too advanced.
Her edges were like too far back.
I don't know what Mystical.
Well, that's Mystical had fake hair.
I don't think that was. That weren't his hair. hair.
So don't do that to Miss School. No, don't do that.
Those little baby braids that you have to burn at the bottom.
I thought that was like he had.
Well, that was like
the individuals.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like,
but no, but she said it was a wig.
That.
Literally, I just read an article. Maybe
everything
it was fake.
All the braids that she used to have could not have been.
Literally, she just confessed because Moesha
gone.
Well, she might be naturally bald
from braids.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, so I typed Brandy's wig and the braids came right up.
But is it
a lace front?
We're about to find out.
I
will have this answer by the end of the show.
I can tell she probably had braids at some point, like the wig.
Yeah.
But she probably started off with regular braids.
Yeah, because no micro minis and all that stuff, you know. We just have really bad hair maintenance.
She dated Kobe too.
He wanted to
her prom.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, that's so crazy. But yeah, we gonna see how this all works out.
Yeah, we gonna figure it out. I'm gonna have an answer by the end of the show.
I'm guaranteed that was a lace front. I swear, it was an article.
Well, you're right. Okay, so look at this. It's like, look.
Yeah, that's show Mika because she don't believe.
It is. You see the little the dent. How the fuck?
That's one.
The edges was still real.
This was early on in her career.
Maybe she just had broken edges.
I don't.
Because we used to use gel back then, so we didn't have all these like edge control and. We weren't as natural. We had processed hair.
I was using jam, and it was laying the edges down.
The gel
and white gel.
The white gel.
Oh my gosh, that flake up so
bad.
So bad. Y'all use the Murray's wax?
I still use Murray's wax.
I do too. I gotta use.
None of that shit works on me.
Me neither. Me either.
Yeah, I just use olive oil and just pray for the best. Go about my business.
Girl prayer.
So Meg Thee Stallion has finally announced her shooter as Torri Lanez. I do not mean to laugh.
Megan, I love you.
And I feel so bad because
she tried to protect him.
She really did. And I saw this quote and it says, Black women can't be your shield and your target. And it really spoke volumes to me. No, mind you, if you've been listening, literally the last 2 episodes are about unprotected Black women. And I love how this new trend is starting to happen about how Black women are being unprotected, even though we've been unprotected for centuries. But I digress. And then like people were like mad at her, calling her like
a snitch.
Yeah, a rat. It's like hot girl rat.
It happened to me. Like I can.
Let me tell you something.
I can say
anybody shoot me, nigga. I'm snitching. And you lucky I ain't shoot back.
I'm telling my nephews. I'm telling the
but I feel like she has all the evidence to support the fact that he did shoot her. But I just don't understand like why come out now. I mean, you already know that the publicists and all of them would do all of that.
I'm on Twitter, and before she went live, she was like, lie again, and I'm going to tell everybody the truth or something of that nature. Like, he must, from what I'm reading, because I read into
they said it was glass that had cut her foot.
But no, they said
that's what she said.
Yeah, they said that Torri Lanez, him and his management are dragging her, but I didn't see that anywhere, so I don't know where that's at.
I don't know.
It's a like New York Times article or something that came out
really?
that said that the way she really hurt her foot was through glass, and that there was no shooter, and that she made all of that, or the story of all of that was made up.
Okay, because I just kept like researching when I saw her video. What she said, people kept saying like it's a video out there of her, like the police making her walk to the helicopter. Yeah. Like she was shot in her foot. She showed her foot.
Yeah, she did show her foot.
It was on the shade room.
Yeah. Okay.
And I feel bad because it's like nobody believed her. And my thing is like, why would you want her to protect Torri Lanez? And
was that her boyfriend?
That's what I'm confused about.
On the interwebs, this is what they said. They said that allegedly Meg Thee Stallion was fucking Torri Lanez, and Torri Lanez was being disrespectful and flirting with Kylie Jenner.
That's what,
and that Meg got mad because it was very blatant, allegedly. And so it was a Chris Brown and Rihanna moment where they're arguing in the car.
Because the homegirl was in there.
Exactly.
Who's the homegirl? Because they haven't said her name.
I do not know.
Because I'm curious if it's Kylie and she signed an NDA, so you can't say nothing. I was just
about to bring that up, an NDA. But I don't think it was Kylie because in my mind, like we all coming from, it was her party from what I believe. She probably would have had her own driver. She probably would have been in her own car.
Her own Bentley.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think that she was with them. But from what I hear, it was like a regular
She just kept saying homegirl, but she never said
who was
in the car.
Yeah.
I mean.
And she got out the car trying to like walk away from the situation. And like he was mad.
If you get get you.
My thing is like he hasn't been arrested. He hasn't.
Where is he? Like nobody knows where he is.
Allegedly they made a petition for him to be shipped back to Canada.
I didn't even have signed it.
All they gotta do is put him in like a little magic box. Like you have to put the puppets.
Him off.
He's so little.
He's so little.
That's why I don't understand. Like,
I knew that was fun for him before he fucked up.
You feel me? Like, how the fuck did you bag Meg? Meg, you better than that.
He got quarantine radio. He had all of this
Maybe
stuff.
he has like a very large penis. Because
that's what I'm thinking.
They come in
teeny, right?
But he's so
small
little,
packages.
so he probably
did.
That's where the nutrients went. Yeah. So I feel so bad for Meg. I'm sorry for everything that she has been through, the way they're dragging her, and it's just so uncouth to me because I'm like, if that was your sister, your mother, your aunt, and that situation happened, like you would want them to protect the person that literally almost killed her, because they were saying on the interwebs that it just by happenstance that she got shot in the foot. Okay, he shot multiple times.
Yeah.
So this is my
thing,
he
could have literally killed her.
Yeah,
so this is my thing, right? So when they said, because the story first was Torri Lanez got locked up because he had a gun. So if he got locked up when he had the gun, then the bullets from her foot would have indicated that was his gun. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of like that gray area. They need to make it transparent.
I mean, if he did it, like lock him the fuck up and charge him.
They should have enough, because they said they wasn't locking him up because she wouldn't cooperate. But if you have the bullet from her foot and his gun, you can match.
Exactly. And you can get the state to come in and prosecute him. They don't even need Meg. Because if it's a match.
Yep.
If it doesn't match.
But that's why I'm so confused about the story, because there's so many like...
It's layered.
It's super layered. Yeah, it's definitely an onion.
But I definitely don't appreciate people coming at Meg like she did something wrong. Like, and my thing is, she was saying that the police were so aggressive to confess that they have a gun in the car, could have murdered all of them. Yeah. So I think people don't understand the bigger picture of how corrupt the system is, because it's like, I don't even feel safe when I'm being harmed, and I have to lie even in that so I won't be killed, because it's like the lesser of two evils. It's like injury or death. I would take injury. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel so bad for her, but she's also very crazy to fuck Torri Lanez.
That's what I'm saying. Like, ain't no dick that good. Like,
it is.
Unless she...
Lord, I ain't have it yet. I don't think I want it.
I mean, he probably just balled himself up and just...
shot right up there. She is big too.
Sis like 6'2". Like, he had to literally jump up.
He like 5'7".
I think he's like 5'4".
He's shorter. He's like my son is taller than him. Like, and he's
how tall is Bow Wow?
Like 5'4".
They're the same height.
Wow.
I remember I was watching Torri Lanez on the Breakfast Club, and he had his chair all the way up.
He jumped down.
And so when he kind of dropped down, so Charlamagne ignorant ass was gonna say, you didn't go far. Like,
I fucking hate him.
Because he's so little.
He's so little. And all the trash ass niggas that's defending him, like, this is why we don't fuck with y'all. Like, and y'all are a part of the problem.
Chance the Rapper posted something protecting Meg.
And so did Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael Bay Jordan.
Did you see what, what's her name? Halle Berry posted?
What she said?
No,
she said something like, Meg, I'm sorry that you going through this. Lock his ass up. Fuck this shit. Like, she went off on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, because it's real. Because it's like, any time that a black woman has some type of trauma and is due to another celebrity, it's like it's quiet. And I was reading an article this morning, and it was saying like it's because Meg is brown and bigger that she's probably not getting the protection that is needed, because she doesn't fit that mold. She's not
perceived feminine, to be weak.
Yeah.
She should be a strong
black woman. Doesn't mean I'm Teflon. Right. Don't mean you can shoot me the fuck up.
Right.
Like, that's so inappropriate.
Yeah.
So
yep.
We just want to pray for Meg, child, because she's going through
it's a lot to go through. Yeah, you just had you just dropped a really good song. It's doing numbers across the world, and now you still have to deal with that shit.
And you dealing with people that are calling you a snitch.
Yeah,
for somebody who shot you.
And I think that probably happened the night that they created the video for them to have been with Kylie. It probably
I don't even know. Stay away from the Kardashians. Like, I think just stay clear. Like, your life does not live in abundance when they are near you.
It is.
Like, as a celebrity, just stop. Especially you black athletes. Like,
they love them.
Cut it
I don't
out.
know why.
They're like sirens or some type of like Liliths or something. Like, I feel like they just siphon off like the black man's energy from their sperm. And then, like, leave them weak.
Make
like the little aliens from Space Jam.
Not the aliens from Space Jam.
But they ain't had that stuff in them, and they just look. That's what they look like at the end. Like, just stay away from the Kardashians.
Yeah, leave them alone. I don't like nothing about them.
Yeah, they're just bad for all people.
Yep.
But on the flip side, Meg is still out here persevering and securing the bag because she actually is going to do a virtual concert, which is going to be August 29th at 6 p.m. It's going to be $15. I don't know how long it's going to be, but she's promoting it now. You can buy tickets. You can go on her IG and stuff like that. There's the website. And
Hey, Meg, if you hear this, can you ship my vinyl? I'm still waiting for it. I bought
she has a vinyl?
She has a whole lot of them. She did the vinyl for her and the Beyonce song. She did the vinyl for Sugar. She did the vinyl for Sugar, Chopped and Screwed. So, yeah.
That probably
and it sounds good.
Yeah,
but I just got the regular Sugar vinyl, and I just need that, sis.
Yeah. Well, we just going to be praying for you because, you know, Meg is not protected. She doesn't have any of her clothes.
She got good luck. She's still like...
She has her angels, but she doesn't have that physical presence of people. Yeah. She don't have her parents, you know what I mean? And she's making all this money and dealing with, like, Caucasian rich people issues. And it's like, you don't have that support system to keep you grounded to navigate this weird-ass space.
And she's smart. Like, she's
right,
a smart person. So
she really is.
She gonna swing back.
Yeah, she'll be fine. And today is Kobe Bryant's birthday. So happy heavenly birthday to Kobe Bryant. He would have been 42 today. So
so sad.
So sad. So prayers to his friends and family, you know, and just love on somebody today because literally nobody wakes up knowing that they're going to die. You know what I mean? So it's like if you beefing with somebody, you going through something stupid, like end that shit. Like
it ain't even worth it.
Because who you being patty to?
Nobody.
She lying. Right. She lying. That's why she looking like that.
Like you're right.
She's like, I gotta send a text message right now.
Like my sister, I love you.
Love you, sis. I don't like your ass, but I do love you.
I don't think I'm doing that to my sister. She can have it.
Oh my God. Just send like a heart emoji. That sums it up.
Right.
Or some type of gift or something.
I'll do that.
I cannot. So for our Black Magic this week, Andrea Drummer is the owner and the chef for the first cannabis-infused cafe. It's in West Hollywood. So because of COVID and stuff like that, they're only doing carry-out only. But they have vapes, they have edibles, you can dab, you can do all these magical things. But she's the first person ever. Go.
I am. Well,
and don't see me for 2 weeks.
That's why it was going to happen. I'm going to be like that on cloud 9.
Yeah, so you can still get all the weed and stuff, like, to go. And they have regular food, like burgers, and they have, like, a vegan option. You know, it's Hollywood, so it's, like, super healthy with weed.
Yeah. I like it.
But she's the first black person, the first person ever to have that in the country.
That's what's up. Go on, sis.
So don't take me down this route, but I just think it's so annoying that if you have prior convictions associated with weed, you cannot open up a cannabis business.
Which doesn't make any sense.
That does not make sense.
To me, they're the perfect business professionals to do it.
They know.
They have the experience, what the white people call for anyway.
Yep.
What did they say? Oh, you're educated, but you don't have the experience. Well, bitch, I got the experience. And I did the work.
Right.
I know. Cut it, weigh it.
That shit is
sell it.
Right.
I can do the marketing and networking.
Make the butter.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's horrible, and it's like a $1 billion industry, and white people are profiting off of it, and all these black people who have been locked up for years, all for like these very misdemeanor crimes for this small amount of weed, and you have all these white boys now, it's like profiting over it. I'm like,
but I think it's weird. Like if it's now legal, why am I still in jail for it?
It's
exactly.
Well, why do I still have a felony for it? Like
exactly.
It's legal, so. That's just my opinion. Don't take me down that road.
Agree.
No, it's a route that needs to be going down. Yeah, because it's just, it doesn't make any sense. But shout out to you, Andrea. Yes, if you guys are in California, stop by, try the weed and the food. Let me know how it is. I'm not going to be in Cali anytime soon. I'm trying to stay alive. Right. But you can definitely let me know how it is. So for our panel discussion this week, you know, I'm doing this. It was allegedly supposed to be 12-part series. I think it's going to be much more than that because y'all have been blowing my DMs up about these conversations. But I'm very grateful. So this is part 4, and Amika knows we've been in a lot of diversity and inclusion meetings, and understanding what it means to be black in certain spaces. And unfortunately, I cannot be the only person that does that because being black encompasses so much, and there's not one person that fits the one size fits all rule.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to be discussing what it means to be a Black woman in corporate America. It is a lot to unpack.
A whole lot.
So before we get started, I'm just going to go around and ask the question first, and we're just going to jump right into this. Go for it, Torri.
Okay, so I think what it means to be Black in corporate America, I mean, I think for some it's like an accolade, like, damn, you made it big. It's it's a good thing based on where you from. But I do feel for people who are in, I guess, corporate America.
Space,
yeah, that's Black, because it's like, do you feel like yourself? Do you ever feel like yourself? You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's my answer.
So, I mean, I feel like being Black in corporate America can be beneficial. I mean, I think back for myself, like I started off as an intern like in 2006. So I've been in corporate America for like 14 years. But I feel like you're bred, like, or at least I was, like, from undergrad, like we're going to get you an internship. We're going to get you a full-time position. But in essence, it's like you come in, you have to sometimes put on a face, but at the same token, it's like you have to overly perform compared to your peers. Like,
yeah, because your internship was like a year. That white person's internship was 6 months.
Right. Okay. Or it could be something like
you
that.
know what I'm saying?
It's so much to it.
Or it could be just something simple as, you made one mistake on something, and then your peer may have done that 7 times, but the fact that you did it that one time, it's like I could be sitting up having a panic attack. Like, oh my gosh, are they gonna try to fire me because I made this one mistake? But I mean, and then you always have to kind of like represent for everyone that fits in your bubble, and it's like you shouldn't have to do that because everyone's different. But I mean, I look at it like it's beneficial to some degree, but at the same token, everyone has their struggles. So it's like, how do you like balance and play that? But it's a game of chess.
It really is. It's not checkers.
No.
I think for me personally, I think it's always feeling like you don't belong. You always feel like an outsider. You always feel like I'm here, but I'm not a part of it. And it's like Mika was saying, like, you'll get chastised for something, and it's a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes, but when Becky does it and Karen and Ashley, it's like, oh, it's okay. We'll get you trained. It's okay. But if we do it,
it's a coaching opportunity.
It's like, oh man, we don't want to write you up, but we've noticed some mistakes. And it's like, bitch,
we just won. We just fucking won.
Like, girl, you don't shut up, like, and leave me alone, and like use this opportunity to train. But it's like, I always feel like you have to be
10 steps
white
ahead.
bred into this weird corporal fraternity network. Yeah.
Good old boy club.
Good old boy club. And then, because we're a double minority, because not only are we women,
Black.
And we're also Black, so even in that, it's like, ooh, you're definitely down the totem pole.
You better not even like try to roll your eye. Like,
I roll my eyes all the time.
But it's not even a matter of like rolling your eyes. I feel like, I've learned the art of being like sarcastic in a manner where like I'm being an asshole, but
per this email.
Yeah, like I'm asking you this question 10 times because what you're telling me is incorrect. But instead of me being blatant, like as a white guy, I could be like, you're totally wrong, man. I have to ask the question 10 times just to get you to the right to understand that what I'm trying to tell you is the right answer. So. I mean, all of that stuff can be frustrating, though.
Yeah, it is. Your voice is never really heard.
Well, I'm gonna say I haven't had like a corporate America. I haven't been in the corporate America space because everybody knows I cook. I'm a baker. So, however,
but you work for companies.
I'm about to say because I try being a Black woman. Not try, but like.
Yeah, you are Black.
Being a Black, I'm just saying, like being a Black woman in or a baker or a chef in a white kitchen.
How was that?
Horrible. It was horrible. I had to leave my last job because I was tired of flexing how Black I was. Like, it was certain things that my manager was saying. We would go to the one chef, to the executive chef, to the DM, to the GM. We was damn near ready to go to the owner because we went to HR already. Like,
what happened?
So I worked at Alexander Brown. They closed now, but one of our sous chefs would just say the most like ridiculous things. Like, again, we had we would get shipments in, and some of the guys on the line would check the shipment in to make sure everything was on the came up the truck, right? He told one of the guys, you can't check the shipment. I lied to you, and probably like 6 months later, we got this white guy. He came in on the line with us. Like, he ain't no different than nobody. He ain't no sous chef. He ain't no manager. He ain't nobody. The truck came in. He checking the, and I'm like, oh, I thought we couldn't do that. He said he's different. Fuck you mean he different? Because now I'm like, but so in our space in the kitchen, we can cuss, we can, you know what I'm saying? We got a more free space. Nobody sees us. So I'm like, what the fuck you mean he different? Fuck you mean? No, he just had, he don't fucking had no experience. What the fuck you mean he different? What you mean he different? How he different?
So he's a different type of white.
You feel me? He's just white. That was it. He was just white. That's what I think he meant. It was so much more than, if I go into everything he said, we'd be here all day. But he was just so like blatantly like prejudiced and racist, and it was bad. It was like I had to keep, you know, saying stuff like that because there was so many people that was scared of him because, again, they didn't want to lose their jobs, so they didn't want to, you know, say anything to him or
played the game.
Yeah, or if, you know, they got
they didn't want to lose his job for somebody who doesn't have a management position.
Say it one more time.
Mm-hmm.
They were afraid to lose their job for someone who doesn't have a management position.
Probably for speaking up.
Yeah, and I kept doing it. You're not gonna keep saying certain things. You got to understand who the fuck work here. Like, you got to understand that. So I'm like, I gotta leave. I can't because like I'm gonna get you beat up. Well, I'm gonna probably fight you because he was just so rude, and I never wanted to like. I don't want to fight people, but he made you feel like that. So being in those spaces is weird too.
It's really weird for me because my actual name. So my name is Sarita. The Hispanic people might say Sarita because it's Spanish for little princess, or Indian, I think it means river or something. And so everyone always thinks I'm like a Mexican or a Puerto Rican. But then when they call me, they're like, oh. So I'm like, I got a code switch. Like, yes. And yeah, like, yeah, and I do this and I do that. Yeah, that's on my resume. And it's like, but see, I blend really well because I grew up in an environment where I was the token black girl.
Okay.
So sounding like them wasn't really hard because that was the environment. And I used to make fun of them because I'm like, this sounds ridiculous. But I used to love Clueless and I used to love Legally Blonde. So I'm like, oh, they want these type of white women. Okay. So I try to mimic that. And it worked, unfortunately. You know, and so like when I would do my interviews, you just see the look on their face because they're like, oh, you're colored.
Or you come in and be like, yeah, I'm Sarita. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, normally like the receptionist, I've been in situations where I met the receptionist, you know, to check in and say, hey, I'm doing my interview. They're like, oh my God.
I talked to you.
I remember you. You look nothing like what I expected. I'm like, what were you expecting? And she was like, I don't know. She's like, you have like such a fiery and sassy name. Like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. You know
that's my personality too, bitch. What the fuck you mean?
But I knew what she meant.
I know.
Because I saw the look of like confusion on her face. And she was like, are you from Baltimore? Like, you don't sound like you're from Baltimore. And I'm like, actually, like, I grew up in Baltimore.
Born and raised.
So like, yeah. And she's like, oh my God. Like, and she's like flipping her. It was a thing. But it was very hilarious to me. But I've been in so many situations where it's like, code switching is the best approach in corporate America settings. And especially with my name, it's like they already expect me to be a person of color, but they don't expect me to be black. And it's like being black is like the worst of the worst because they think I'm Hispanic. So when they see that I'm black, they're like, oh shit. So like we weren't really expecting that.
Right.
So like my name is Vermeka. My maiden name is Lang. So like
that's confusing.
Similar. When I started at my first job, they had messed up my name on the paper, so it was Virginia Lang. So when I showed up, they were like, "Oh,
Clutch pearls,
yeah." They probably thought I was Asian, like you know, because I'm talking to like corporate HR, and then I come on like the field, and they're like, "Huh, like Lang?" I'm like, "Yeah, black, right?"
Right.
But like with code switching. I don't know. Like, I've seen it on both sides of the spectrum. Like, I've seen it where, like, I felt the need to code switch, but I also seen it where me being myself, I get a better response, and I feel like I'm more genuine. Like,
I was going to say that.
Like, I just moved into a new job, and I promise you, during my entire interview process, they got 100% Vermeka. Like, you got me exactly for who I am. And afterwards, I was just like, well, I mean, at the end of the day, they're just going to accept me for who I am or not.
But how did you get to that point, though? Because it wasn't always that. Because we've been conditioned to not be that way.
I think I just got to the point where I was tired.
Sick and tired,
I'm like, you going to love me for who I am, or you're just not going to love me at all. And I think like all the George Floyd and all of that stuff probably was just like, like finally we can put it out there. We can have this conversation, and like we can be 100% because this is what you want. You want us to be like completely transparent. Yeah. But I mean, like code switching can be different for different people. Like it might not be you being, you know, oh my gosh, my name's Rebecca. Like it might not be that. It could just be you being like more professional.
Yeah.
Like
your own skin.
Yeah, like all right, well, good morning, gang. Like I'm having but it by definition you're probably code switching, but it's just you being professional in the essence of how you're communicating with your certain audience. So I mean, but I just got tired of like putting on a face. Yes. So it was just like, you just gonna get me. And if you don't want this, then maybe this isn't the job for me.
But see, I think for me, I've been conditioned so bad. I've been brainwashed so bad that I can't help it. I don't even realize it that I'm morphed into that person to make these white people feel more comfortable. And I don't realize until I'm done talking. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck do I sound like that?
I said like that.
And I'm like, ugh, why? And it's funny. Last week I was on the phone with customer service, and I always go out my way for people who are in the customer service field because I know it's hard. And so my friend is like, I didn't know who was actually in the living room because she was like in the bathroom, and she over here. She was like, I thought someone else was in this house. She's like, I did not know that was you. And I'm like, fuck. And it's like I can't help it. It's something I'm trying to work through, but from a young age, being a token black girl.
I was a token black girl.
Yeah.
I grew up East Baltimore, born and raised. I went to a public school for elementary school. I went to St. Paul School for girls for middle school and high school. When I graduated, it was 3 black girls. I was one of 3. But I think being in that environment made me embrace being who I was even more. Because I'm like, this is my environment for school. But it was always, I'm just here for a temporary period. At the end of the day, I still got to go home. Right. So I'm just here with y'all for right now. And I look even back on that now, like when I went to undergrad, I'm like, I need to get away from this environment. So I went to HBCU.
I'm going to say, oh, all right, this.
And I was like,
I went to a PWI. So.
Oh, okay.
I struggle with that with my son, even though I don't have that choice. But I be like, do I want him to be that like diverse where so he can be around black people and white people? So go to a PWI. But then I'm like, no, just go.
I was blessed though because I went to school with people from different countries of the world, so it was a little bit different for me because I literally had people that were just in America for the very first time, from Korea, Japan, different parts of Africa, India. Like it was very, very well versed because I went to music school, so it's different. But I don't know if I went to like UPenn or like a Harvard, I don't know how well I would thrive in that space.
My thing was I never wanted to go to a school. I felt like I was just a number. And I felt like some of those schools are so big that it's like you would never take the time to really care about my development and about what my plans are and how I can get there as a black woman. And going to North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. I felt like I got that. And like, I'm in the sorority. I'm a Delta. So, like, I got all of that and plus some. And I have those relationships that are still part of my network today. If I look back at high school, I don't talk to any of those girls. Okay. I go back every 5 years for our reunion just so I could be like, oh, hi. Yeah,
I'm showing that beautiful ring you got.
I could be like, hi. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I braided hair in high school. And, no, that's not the only thing that I'm known for. Because that's what in the yearbook, they put in 10 years, Vermeka will own her own braiding salon.
Bitch.
But that's the little ignorant stuff where it's like, there's nothing wrong with that because that's still an accomplishment. But, like, don't try to just
marginalize
to just be that. Like,
but I know that's a triggering. Yeah, I can see that triggering.
It annoys me.
I would feel some kind of way about that too if I saw that in my yearbook.
Yeah. No, back then I probably would have been like, okay, all right, because my first job was in a hair salon, so I probably would have been like, okay, all right, I can do that.
And it's nothing wrong with being nothing wrong with that, but like I don't want to be. Don't put me boxed in. Like I can be anything I want to fucking be.
Yeah, I'm about to say I grew up kind of like that. My mother, she worked for Big Daddy. She worked with Man Smoke. She came from just being professional and working with homeless people and stuff like that. So I was always like, no elbows on the table, put your knife on this side, your cup on this side. Like, so I was always taught to speak proper. But then I got in high school, I was just like, mommy, baby, I ain't, no, I'm tired. I don't want.
But see, that's another thing. I think it's a difference between being proper and having the tonality of what you think white people sound like. Because I don't technically speak proper English. It sounds like I do because of how I'm using my
your
tone.
Yeah.
So it's different. And I hate when people say like, oh, Sari, you sound white. And like, I don't know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
What does sounding black sound like? Like, I don't know how to read.
Yeah.
Like, stop equating that. And I hear it all the time, even at work. You know, they make fun of me and like, here we go. Look at you. Sound like a little white girl. Yeah.
It's your tone.
Right.
But it's my tone. Like in some moments I might sound like I'm from down the hill. Some moments I might sound like, you know, Becky Sue. It just kind of
I do not like them people. Oh my God.
They got my portfolio. I ain't gonna say nothing bad.
Yeah, listen, don't. I just worked at Bar Louie, and they used to in Owens Mills. They used to come there all the time. Like, I promise y'all, if y'all go on Google, and I don't care because my skills are really good. I just had a bad table and it was T-Row price. But if you go on Google, you gotta go on Bar Louie, Owens Mills, you're gonna see a review.
It's gone.
It's probably no. The reviews are gone.
Oh, well, I mean the restaurant's gone.
No, I know.
Yeah.
The reviews though. So it'll say the girl. He said the guy said I don't know her name, but she had a star on her neck.
You already sound like a gangster.
Mad. He was mad at me. That man, he was so mad at me. But they would come in there and they would be so snobbish, and it's like, and I'd be looking at the black people with them like, y'all really like they got y'all out here acting like this to y'all.
No,
like,
but see, like,
and that's a whole nother thing about that Oakland time shit.
Yeah.
I mean the corporate space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I've encountered people because like all skin folk is not your kinfolk.
That's
No,
my favorite.
they are
favorite
not.
mantra.
And I've been in situations where I'm not necessarily asking for this person to look out for me, but I'm also not asking for somebody to go out their way to belittle me or get me to lose my job so they can make themselves look better, so they can be the only token black person to be around these so-called successful white people.
Right.
If you are listening to the sound of my voice, and if you are one of those people, go fuck yourself. Because any person who goes out of their way to make someone's life a living hell, you have no integrity. You have no moral anything. Like, I have no respect for you whatsoever. There have been so many situations where
I'm
I'm
gonna say, and that's what it was there, because like during my time of being a server, I'm a bomb server. Like I did so good at, you know, serving and shit like that. But it was like they gave me the worst, and it wasn't even my table. So I think off the back that they were just mad when I came up and was like, okay, I'm gonna just take y'all, fuck it, because ain't nobody coming over here to y'all, and y'all keep coming to me because y'all coming all the time and y'all see my face, and I decided to help y'all. Then all of them gave me the ass to kiss, like.
But see, like, one thing, like, my dad, he grew up my parents are from Baltimore, born and raised, like, down the hill, born and raised. And I think, like, one thing my father always instilled in me is, like, you speak to everybody. If I don't care if it's a janitor, I don't care if it's a receptionist, I don't care if it's a CEO, you look them in the eyes and you speak. And to me, like, you just never know when you might need somebody, depending on what's going on. Like, you might need somebody to process something outside of their work, and they might do it just off the strength that you're always sweet, and you always recognize them for like whatever. Same thing with just, you know, people, like you recognize people if it's something small, make it a big deal, like, oh, you did a really nice job on this, and I'm gonna send an email to your boss so everyone knows, like that. But that's the little things that I feel like black people need to do more to look out for each other.
Absolutely.
Because white people do it
all the time.
So it's like, but you were talking about, you know, being a token and people not looking out. But at the same token, it's annoying on the other side when a person isn't doing what they need to do and they want you to look out. And it's like, I've already looked out for you 10 times.
Exactly.
I can't keep sticking my neck out for you because you keep dicking me.
Right,
like,
exactly.
What else do you want from me? Like, so it's like, you gotta look at it from both perspectives. But I just feel like if black people looked out for each other a lot more, we would be so much further along.
Absolutely. We don't support our own.
No.
If they're trying to now.
I
mean, people are trying, but it's like,
operative word is try.
But you still see, like, we talked about entrepreneurs episode or two ago, and it's like you still see you know, our community being bashed because it's like, you know, I see so many text message threads or message threads from entrepreneurs to their customers, and it's fucking ridiculous. My Facebook page, my timeline is horrible because I see some of the stuff that the business owners say about their customers, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck? And they be getting money, they be getting clientele, and I'm just like, how the fuck?
Imagine these Fortune 500 companies.
You feel me?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, these are like mid-level, like, owned companies. Imagine what Fortune 500 companies, they don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Like the Walmarts and the Targets of the world, like they don't really cater to you not caring, unless you have a bomb ass lawyer and you really want to like be with the shits. But as far as like cultural misunderstandings, inclusion and diversity, they don't care about that type of stuff. Like that doesn't matter to them. They've made so much money to the point they don't have to respect protocol at this point. There's $1 trillion. I mean, Walmart is worth $1 trillion or something at this point. Like, I don't give a fuck about personal protocol and about your morality and your feelings and how you feel at work. Like, look at Amazon. Everyone had fucking COVID and the warehouse was still open.
Yep.
They just like sanitize like the warehouse and like, all right, y'all niggas gotta go back to work. And it's horrible. I don't mean to laugh, but like, no, it's the truth. Like these work environments, like especially people that accumulate so much money, have lost touch and lost sight of what it means to like take care of their employees. And it's disgusting.
I think I saw a post and it said something to the extent of people don't people don't leave jobs, they leave managers. And that is so
that's
true.
Real. That's
Did
true.
they leave you?
I left them.
I don't blame you.
I just got into a new job.
Congratulations. I don't blame you. Like I don't want nobody to stay anywhere where they are not like happy. I promise you.
But it's hard though, because it's like corporate structure allows you to create comfortability. Like you have the consistent paycheck, you have the benefits, you have these things. So you're willing to tolerate certain foolishness, especially when you come from humble beginnings, and it's like you're one of the people that did well in your family. Like if you're the first one to graduate from college, you're the first one to make, over 50 grand or something like that. So it is a double-edged sword, because it's like you are losing probably your integrity and who you are as a person. You have to do things that just really don't compromise with how you were raised and your cultural values. However, you see that check and it's like, okay, well, I can take care of my mom. I can get out of debt. I can, do other things to put this money in other Black people's pockets if that's how they choose to spend their money. So it's like confusing, because it's like I'm stuck. I want to do more, but at the same time, I'm also comfortable where I'm at. So where do I go?
But I think it's about how it's like being comfortable is a mindset. So like right now you're dealing with COVID. So like
I would expect you to be comfortable.
Well, you might not like your situation, but you might be looking at your friends and your peers and like, dang, I have friends that had 6-figure jobs that are unemployed now and they're furloughed. So it's like, my boss might get on my nerves, or I feel like I'm not 100% myself at work, but I'm bringing in this check, so I'm gonna just be quiet and I'm gonna sit and do what I gotta do. So it's like, how do you like,
protect yourself?
Balance it, protect yourself.
Yes.
Be able to better deal with your certain situation. I'm gonna just say journal and meditate. Like, that's really all you can do. Like,
and pray.
I just started journaling.
Me too. Like, I thought it ever since that last episode I was on. Like, I'm like, let me go home and journal. This book number 6. Okay.
My work environment has been much better since I don't have to like deal with my manager and stuff on a consistent basis. But I think for me, discrimination is like a really big deal for me.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that runs my mouth. I've been running my mouth since I knew how to talk at 1. And there was a situation where this lady had came in from corporate. I won't say her name. She was a white woman. And so she comes into the room and she's like, look, y'all, we're going to be honest with one another. This is a safe space. No managers, no directors, no nothing. Like, let's lay it all on the table. So when you say something like to a person like me, I'm like, oh, bitch, this about to get real.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm the only person out of the 30 people that was in that meeting that was like, I don't like this. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. I think we can improve here. I think we should do this. I got almost written up.
Reprimanded.
For speaking my truth.
And you asked me to tell me. You told me that I could tell you that.
The thing that triggered me the most is that I had a conversation with my director, and thank God my director is like this wonderful Puerto Rican man, because he knew I was like 2 seconds from smacking that bitch, because I was very upset. So when I talked to him, I said, he pulled me to the side and he's like, I heard that you had a bad day. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't have no bad day. He's like, well, I talked to so-and-so, and in the meeting, there were some things that was discussed, and, people felt uncomfortable. And I was like...
So the people around you in the meeting felt uncomfortable,
no, it wasn't
not the person?
No, it wasn't no people around.
That was his way to, like...
That was his... That's what the lady said. She didn't want to come... She felt uncomfortable. But she didn't say that until... Who, child? Because I wrote her an email. I was trying to Zoom the bitch. Let me tell you something. I don't be playing with these white folks, okay?
Pull it up.
But the thing that really, it bothered me because I'm like, why would you ask for truth on how to make a department or anything better? And when someone's frustrated or they don't like their job or come up with new ideas, you're automatically intimidated, you're automatically uncomfortable, you're automatically all these things. And so I asked my director, I said, well, do you think if it would have came from a white person, if they delivered, do you think it would have been better? And I love my director, truly, to God I do. He says, you know what? It probably would have been. Mm-hmm. Because now you look like the angry black woman. Mm-hmm. And I said, how am I looking like the angry black woman? I'm telling you how to improve something. Then that's what you're here for. Yeah. You're coming from corporate. You're coming from New York to ask people, hey, how can we make this department better? Well, bitch, I got a whole list for you. I wrote it down. I knew you was coming. I'm prepared. But it's like, oh, well, I wasn't really expecting for you to answer that question. And then you lied about it being anonymous. Yeah, you told my name. Mm-hmm. What was the whole point of removing the directors and managers if you were going to go back to tell the managers and the directors? Mm-hmm. So I was like, hey, am I in trouble? And he was like, nah. I was like, because this is about to get real ugly. And I said, what's her email address? Mm-hmm. So I emailed her. And I said, hey, I'm very confused about the conversation that we had in this meeting. I thought we were going to have some anonymity, one. Two, you have completely lost my trust because I don't understand was it just for show to say like the manager and stuff wasn't going to be there? Or I don't know what you were trying to do. And I said, and three, I think the best way to approach the situation is you come to me and say, hey, you were the only one that spoke and you're the only one that feels that way. Can you kind of unpack why you feel this way, like a later time, like me and you can meet one-on-one?
So none of the other black people had anything else to say about the processes and things?
They was just shaking their head like they was in church.
Oh, agreeing with you.
They was amening, but they ain't say shit. And see, I'm always the catalyst of wanting change, but I'm the only one that speaks up. Yep. So I'm always the one that's vilified because it's like, oh, she's the angry black person. Oh, she's the one that's going to like bring up all the problems. Well, yeah, bitch, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like it. That's what the whole point of HR for. But when I asked, like, I was like, well, can I hire a white person to come in to speak for me, like have an anger translator, like on Key and Peele?
No, that's
so petty.
I gotta meet you where you at.
This is Amy. Amy's gonna translate what I'm saying.
This is Rebecca.
She's definitely gonna let you know how I feel in the way that makes you more comfortable. Okay, Cheryl, like I got you. Okay. And it just made me very uncomfortable. And so when she responded, she says, oh, no, that's not what I meant. And I just thought that maybe you were just having a bad day because you seem so, upset. And I said, it didn't dawn on you that I'm upset because I'm unhappy in my position of work. And if you are there to make this situation better, my question to you is, why won't you find out what the problem is so you can come up with a great solution? She never responded back to my email.
Cause she not.
And if I see that bitch, I'm gonna square up. I'm gonna pull her to the side, and I'm like, let me show you what true leadership is. Because obviously, I don't know how you got in the position that you're in, but you're clearly incompetent. You clearly have an issue with your social skills, and you're a fraud. And you're a lot of things that I don't appreciate.
I deal with.
So when I see you, if I'm still there, I am going to say something to you because to me, it makes other people uncomfortable to speak out when they know that they're going to be reprimanded in the end. So it's like nothing changes, nothing is done, and people are just sitting and suffering in silence, especially women, because we're not supposed to say shit. Anything. We're supposed to just endure and take. And I can't.
I mean, like, so I know you were talking about like discrimination. So like, I feel like I've experienced that. I just get so angry whenever I think about the situation. But I'm gonna share. You got
tequila here.
I do, and I already pulled it. No, I just think about like I had posted for this job, and I really wanted it. Like it was a step up from where I was, and I had prior experience from my prior company, so I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. It was outside of Baltimore, so I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to my husband. Like, look, we gonna move. We handle kids at a time. Let's go. Posted for the job. Then maybe didn't hear anything. Like 2-3 days later, my boss at the time pulls me in a room and says, "You posted for this job." I I said, yeah. I said, that's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to you about it. I didn't talk to so-and-so about it. So, like, are you letting me know that I'm about to be, like, selected for an interview? No, you won't be interviewed for the job. I said, that's weird. I read the requirements, and I'm more than qualified. I actually have my master's of business administration. So, like,
come on, sis.
help me understand.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you basically, the baseline was, I didn't tell nobody I was interested in the position.
You don't have to. That's your business.
You don't have to, but I went and posted for it. And I guess that whoever was the leader on our end, or my end, whatever, went to the leader at that office and had a conversation. And at that level, it was determined that I wasn't ready for the position.
How?
But I'm like, so, like, I mean, and at that point, like, my boss to me was a pawn. Like, he was just put in a role. He was a puppet in essence.
That's how my manager is.
And so, like, he would do whatever he was told. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, so this is really what we're doing right now? Like, this is a joke. Never was interviewed for the position.
Nothing.
But, you know, fast forward like a year and a half, 2 years later, similar position comes up. And now it's, oh, well, Vermeka has proven herself, like, in an essence, where she's ready for this position. And I said, I don't even want it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yes, come through.
Well, like, oh, you know, we think it would be great. No, I'm good. Me and my husband, you know, we got a child now.
Yep. I can't.
Life is different, and we not moving.
You missed your opportunity.
We're not moving. Oh, okay. But if you look on the other aspect of it, like, I had talked to some people I knew in our office, and you know, I always say things happen when they're supposed to happen, because I had talked to somebody and she was just like, you know, I know that was a area that you wanted to move to. She was like, but if you think we have color issues in our office, she was like, imagine what it would have been like going down there. She was like, that's just something totally different, and I wouldn't even recommend that for you. So I feel like it could have been a blessing in disguise, but it was just like,
God's protection, child.
yeah, but like, you gonna tell me I'm not ready for a position?
Yeah,
And you have the experience and the education.
How dare you? And y'all know me. I don't hold punches. So I went to the person that was having the conversation and playing the game. I apologize that I didn't talk to you about the role. Going forward, I'll make sure I come in and speak to you directly. Yeah. Because I didn't want to ruffle any feathers and cause confusion.
Right. Baby.
For me, that wasn't the case.
What was the case then?
It seems like there was some confusion. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page going forward. This is my goal and my plan. So what can you do to help me get there?
Exactly.
Since I wasn't ready for this one role.
And holding people accountable with that bullshit. They be lying, y'all. They just be lying. They just be lying, child.
Play the game.
And it's crazy because 30% of millennials now are considering leaving their jobs to start their own business.
And I absolutely understand why.
And you understand? Because I think it's different. Because back in our parents' days, when they got paid
the same job forever.
They stayed the same, but they had the benefits. They got paid good money. You know, we didn't have the inflation that we do now as far as like the wage and living. And stuff is so expensive. Like, my mom bought her house at like
$50,000.
Yeah, 25, 26 years old, and it was cheap. She worked for the government. She had pension. She was good.
My dad worked for General Motors for 37 years.
Oh, that was a nice.
My mother.
That was a nice pension. Your dad want friends?
Like, what that 401k was. Nah,
they got paid.
My mom worked at Johns Hopkins as an RN, and then she went from there to GBMC for like 20 years. Yeah. And she retired. So, like, when you think about money and how older people, they stayed at their job unless something really occurred to make them leave. Yeah.
I mean, because they were conditioned to believe that you get an education, you graduate, get some a good job, you work that for 35 years, and then you die happy. Yes. You get pregnant, you have a family, and that's it. You get life insurance, and you just, and it's like, nah, nigga, I need to be fulfilled. Like, I need to, like, walk in purpose. Like, I'm not just, and people make fun of me because I leave jobs like this.
That's me.
Because I know my worth, and it's just a waste of my time. And I've been in so many situations where I'm like, I'm really not happy. And so the money for me is like, yeah, you need money because I live, a kind of expensive life. But like, but at the same time, it's like, is it really worth it? Like, is it worth my peace? Is it worth my integrity? Like, what value is this bringing in besides the money? Is it building my character? Like, if it's just all negative, I just have to remove myself. And it's like the same way, like, these companies, they don't give a fuck about you. Like, you can die tomorrow. Anything can happen to you. They will just put something on Indeed, okay? And they won't give a fuck. They send flowers to be nice.
Well, I don't know why this just makes me think of, because, again, I know we was talking about discrimination, but I told you I just left a job and went to another job, and my team, they went through the letters of my name and gave, like, an acronym associated with the name.
Oh, that's nice.
It was really sweet until we got to K. So
I always say KKK.
That's what I be thinking.
So they got to K, and this was my boss.
You could have just said kind.
No. And so,
kind.
At first, it was funny.
It
was like, K, for 3 strikes, you're out. And so I was like,
that is not fucking funny.
It was like, nah, but really, Vermeka, it's K as in Kamala. And I was just like,
get the fuck out
shut
of here.
the fuck up.
Get the fuck out of
and
here.
I'm on, Zoom, Skype, and my face is just like, and my daughter.
Did you black it out?
Did it, what black out
The
what?
Zoom. Baby, I'll be typing on the thing.
You can take the screen off.
No, he saw my face.
No, he should have, though.
But it
K
was.
is in Kamala?
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And what the fuck does that have to do with, are you related to her?
Not at all.
I'm so confused.
My face was just like.
Where you get that from?
Out of all of the K's.
But
all the K's.
But all the other letters were so, like, thoughtful and meaningful and sweet that it was just like, I cannot believe you just said that. Like,
that was an icebreaker.
It was supposed to be.
I hate white people jokes, yo. I hate it.
And I don't even, like.
I think they just are so stupid they couldn't come up with anything else.
And he was just like, she speaks well. And to me, that's
she speaks well.
She, she's very passionate.
No.
And I was just like.
The call Cassidy. I can't.
And so, as soon as
I wish y'all could see my face.
As soon as we hung up, like, my husband was just standing there. I was like, why didn't you check him? And I was just like.
I would have went
because sometimes shit be so funny that you can't even, like.
And it hit you so fast and randomly.
And that was the thing. It hit me so fast. And then it was like, today is my last day. Why do I care?
Give a fuck.
I had to deal with this.
I be Kamala, you're right.
But K isn't kind. But like the first thing's like, oh my God, she's black. K, Kamala, she's VP. Oh my God,
she's
their cousin.
Oh
my God, she was so appreciative.
I was so God. I think I was mad for like 4 days straight. Like everybody that called me, I'm like, girl, let me tell you what happened.
Let me talk
like you already told me this story. Let me tell you again.
Let me tell you about these colonizers.
This K isn't colonizer. Like no, it's gonna be K today. But
yeah, I can't. I cannot believe they said that to you.
Me neither.
On your last fucking day.
My last day.
I ain't even. It's not even surprising.
How do you?
Like, they do these days.
It's like a Sour Patch Kid. Like, how do you start off so well? And you're almost at the finish line and you fuck up.
Each person had a letter and it got. But I think it was just more like you're my boss. Like you would think that you're setting the stage for everyone else that's on this call to come correct. There's so many
K words in the dictionary that you could have used it to describe a person, like an adjective.
But you can.
And that's what Google is for.
But you
don't have to think on your own.
The other people on the call, they all
were uncomfortable.
Yes, like everybody was like.
We did not listen. We didn't know that. We didn't know.
And that wasn't his original K that he had sent on the email.
It was 3 strikes out.
It was like something else that he had put on the email, but it was just like, really, you gonna say this? Because if you would have put that in writing, that would have been a control forward. Like,
yeah.
The BCC like the whites do. Okay, they love a good blind copy email. Okay, don't get caught up. I've been caught up.
He knew what he was doing.
And I definitely responded back and said, next time when you forward something, add me to it. Don't blind copy shit, bitch.
Yeah.
Don't do that weird stuff. See, people don't like me at work because, like, I hold people accountable.
See, that was me in my last job.
Like, you have to respect me. I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. I barely like you, okay?
Right.
But you're going to have to respect me. And then that's all I ask for. And it's just like, for me, being a black woman, I just think it's just really hard to get respect in the workplace, especially in a male-dominated field.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's like you have to do like 1,000 things more for the same amount of pay, but the less respect. You
and
don't.
It's not even the same pay.
Yeah.
That is true. I did find out about that.
Or somebody get paid
It's always
the same
less.
amount as you, or they probably get paid the same amount as you, and you never understand why. Because that always bothers me. Like I had a situation like that at my current job, and I'm like, this bitch don't do shit. Like,
And that's a whole nother
why
thing.
the fuck she get paid? What I get paid?
The nepotism foolishness, and and just shortcuts that white people have the privilege to have. Like the fact that me and Mika are on calls about talking about being black. I had to specifically tell the colonizers, the fact that we're in this meeting educating you is a privilege within itself. You can blissfully live in ignorance and not even come close to the things that I am dealing with in my blackness and what's happening in my community.
I'm exhausted from those calls.
Baby, so the fuck am I?
I'm exhausted.
So, what are you guys discussing? Like just
being
Everything.
black.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
But I mean, at this point, it's exhausting because it's like we're hosting a lot of calls, and I feel like it's a form of education for the people that are on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
And that's fair. I don't have a problem with that. But it's like the fact that it's an expectation that I am supposed to host these calls is like, no. Like,
Why don't you host the fucking calls?
that's my thing. And I think it's at the point now, like we did a 3 series, and it's like we did a one like tell me what's on your mind. We did another one about code switching, and we're gonna do another one about microaggressions. And it's like, well, we want more, and it's like, okay, well, you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, because that it takes a mental weight on you when you're having to relive your negative experiences.
And then they still don't get it. And it's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Or they insert themselves into your experiences to minimalize the things you've been through. It's like, oh, well, I code switch too. No, but you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You're
like,
doing it because you want to.
Your code switching is not, a reflection of you going to get this job or not. Or it's not dependent upon.
Yeah, so you don't have to straighten your hair for your job interview. You don't have to take out your braids. Like, we have to, because, or we have to straighten our curly weave, to assimilate to that environment. Like,
and people don't understand that Eurocentric, mindset where we have to look like them, we have to sound like them, we have to damn near dress like them. And it is so exhausting. Like Mika was saying, like putting that face on, and when you get sick and tired, baby, you just get sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. I mean, you might catch a Vermeka or Ashley on a good day, but you might get a Shaquan. It just depends on my day, baby. It has nothing to do with the person. It has everything to do with me.
Yes.
But it's hard because I remember my mom actually. I remember I think I had like a curly, like wavy hair or something. Like it was a weave, and she was like, "Well, don't you think you should like straighten it out?" No. I was like, damn. And I was younger, so I was like, for what? What am I straightening out for? She's like, you want to just look more presentable. You want to look more universal. And I'm like, well, what the fuck that mean? Right. I mean, don't white people got wavy hair? They don't have wavy hair?
But they straighten their hair too.
Exactly.
And I mean, like, and I'm not saying that like to minute what we do, but it's crazy. Like, I went to St. Paul's, and there was a girl. She claimed she was white, but like your mama was sleeping with the milkman. You got something. But like she had really, really thick, coarse, curly hair. Yeah. And she would straighten her hair every morning. I mean, bone straight. And I'm like, she got the little like perm things or whatever they would get to straighten it. And I'm like, not perm rods, but to straighten it. Okay. And I'm like, why go through all it? Because it's just so much more manageable. And I'm like, it's not that it's manageable, it's that
you're aesthetically more
Katie and so and so all have straight hair, so you feel like you need to fit in with them, because if you wear your curly fro, then you look more like us.
You don't want that.
So I mean,
and people don't understand how traumatizing that is, because it takes away from your identity, and I'm glad that we're a part of this natural hair movement and things like that. But people don't realize that this movement is new as shit. I was getting perms at 10. Like, nigga, I've seen it. I've been a part of this evolution process. So if I wanted to be natural in 2000, that was impossible. They didn't even have the products really to accommodate that. I mean, you would have to be a chemist and just whip something up in your kitchen, but you didn't have a little bit of olive oil with a shower cap and let that sit. But if you didn't have those great grandmothers and stuff like that kind of knew how to make stuff from scratch, it was like you had to get a perm. You had to subscribe to like that Eurocentric look, unfortunately. And now that we're older and we have these movies and stuff like that, but it bothers me that we still have to pass bills so people's locks don't have to get cut off. Like, we have to protect our babies because they can't wear braids in certain private schools. And it's like, y'all don't see the bigger picture that we're telling Black people that their identity doesn't matter and they have to subscribe to this Eurocentric look. And so we have to fight for that. I have to fight for my hair. So that doesn't make any sense.
That's one thing I will say that I appreciated about St. Paul's. Like, they didn't care about that kind of stuff. Like, you could wear your cornrows. Like, they were okay with.
Make sure your uniform was on.
Yeah, make sure your uniform on. Make sure you got on the right shoes. Like, period. Calvin Hall, like Calvin. My cousin used to get his hair braided every Friday.
That's in Towson, right?
Every Friday, and Monday when he was coming in, he was taking his braids out because he wasn't allowed to wear cornrows. As like they weren't allowed to at school. Wow. I don't know if they've since changed that. You know, it was like
a couple of.
It was like 15 years ago.
I thank God, like I saw like what is it, St. Pius, it's in Towson. They ain't care. They ain't really care either.
Yeah, I had a job that told me they didn't like my braids.
Yeah, they didn't care about
and I was like, you don't like them, or I can't wear them because like you not liking them is a personal. See, my mouth is crazy. Like I say, I talk to white people.
I need you to be intentional.
Like I was like, do you not like them, or is not allowed? And they were like, well, we need to have a conversation with HR. And I'm like, well, tell them to get at me, and then because I'm not listening to you because I think you're a liar. But
so what came from that?
They said it wasn't preferred, but we're gonna let you live. And I'm like, yeah, nah. Mandatory. But I'm like, why does that bother you? Like, this is part of my heritage. So like the same way a Muslim person wants to wear a hijab, like the same way I want to wear my crown, which whatever that means, whether it's a weave, a braids, a fro, a fucking fresh cut, bitch, however this shit come out my goddamn scalp is me.
You remind me of my little sister. I remember we used to work together at another company, and she had a hair wrap on because her hair was bad, and she had a Black boss, and so her Black boss was just like, whatever. But the people on the team felt uncomfortable about the fact that my sister had the hair wrap on, so they asking the manager questions. Is this for religious reasons? Like,
none of your fucking business, bitch.
We're trying to understand. So basically, somebody went to HR and they told my sister that like she shouldn't be wearing it unless it was religious associated. So she took it off, and then the next day, this is my sister. She comes in.
My head just like
Don't tell me she came in with her job.
She came in. No, she came in with a long gray wig. Like silver. And I'm looking at her like, Stacy. And so she was just like, what? The hair color is natural. What are they going to say? No. And so they just kept looking at her like, you look like Storm from X-Men. And she was like, and I am here. She is
baby,
me.
And I'll bring the weather. Okay.
And she wore gray hair for like a month straight.
Yes, Stacy. Yes, sis. Give it to the colonizers. I mean, I had that same thing happened to me. I wore my hair in a head wrap, but it wasn't like how I would put myself to bed. It was cute. Like I had the little notch, little thing in the front. So the lady approached me. She was actually Black, and she says, that's inappropriate. I said, show me your bylaws. And she was like, well, I'll get back to you. And I'm like, all right. And she was like, well, is this for religious purposes? I said,
yeah.
And who is it to you? I said, well, what do I have to do to show you that this is for religious purposes? Because if I say it is, then it is, right? And she's like, well, I don't know if it works that way. It's just very inappropriate. I said, are you going to tell Fatima to take her hijab off? And I said, did she show you any proof? You just automatically respected the fact that she was a Muslim woman. So why can't you give me the same thing? Why do I have to give you proof? And I got to go down my list of contents of what I am and what I believe in. That's none of your business, actually. That's
that's discrimination at this point
exactly. Like, that's a HIPAA violation. I don't have to tell you my personal business if I say, look, this is for God. We done.
Praise him.
Mind your business.
Moving on.
Right.
But all the white people were confused, and they were asking the same questions as well. They were like, oh, this is a new look for you. I'm like,
Every time I have a new wig, weave. Well, I don't wear wigs, but every time
it's too hot.
Well, I mean, I just look like a man when I put wigs on. But
I'll pay for that. I'm gonna buy you a wig.
No, it looks horrible. They never look good. They always sit like a helmet.
You got the Medea wigs.
It's real bad. It's always bad.
I don't like how they feel the itchy right here.
I never had one. I'm just scared that somebody gonna pull it off.
Yeah,
I'm always scared of that.
Or like the wind blow too hard and that's it.
I just don't want to like be having sex.
All right, so we're not even gonna go there. Because that's one of my.
That happened to my friend in her cornrows. She had the stocking cap and he was exposed. He was very traumatized because he didn't know what was going on because he didn't know it was a wig. But I digress.
It was a wig with cornrows.
It was no.
I thought it was like a lace front wig.
It was a lace front wig, but she had the cornrows under it.
Oh, under
with
okay.
With the stocking hat, but he was, you know, getting it in. He pulled too hard. And he was traumatized because she had like Coolio braids.
See, no, that.
Come on, he knew that wasn't her hair.
He had to.
I don't know. Some men are so stupid.
That happened to me before, and I was like, "You got chick? Could you put my wig up?" He was like, "Snatch," and pulled it off. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, okay, all right then.
Whoo, back at
it. Right.
But some men are like, yeah, now I didn't sign up for this.
Why you so aggressive? Like, look, these crocheting. Don't pull too hard.
Gentle. Take your time.
I can't stand y'all.
Oh, God.
But for you, Mika, like, when you were a manager, did you feel like being a black woman in power, like, did you feel like there was an issue with that? Like,
for some people,
you getting your promotion? Like, how was that? Did you go right into a management position, or did you get promoted?
So when I worked at my prior company, I got promoted into a manager, and I was young. I was like 26,
how
25.
Was that experience getting promoted?
But I worked in a different department, so I didn't get promoted around people that I worked with. Okay. I got promoted to a different, but that was hard because I was so young, so people thought like, oh, I'm gonna play with her. Yeah. So I came in like, oh, we're not playing these games. And I took over a team that was mostly black, which I'm like, was this on purpose?
What you think? I don't want to deal with them?
Well, but I felt like it was a good thing because they, you know, it took a little bit for me to be like, okay, what are the rules? Am I following the rules? And then I learned that everybody wasn't following the rules, but that's just something neither here nor there. But I felt like the team appreciated me more because they was like, okay, yeah, she knew, she young, she coming in and she got the hammer, but I know at the end of the day, she cares enough about where I'm at and where I want to go. So, I mean, I thought that was her, but when I came to the other company, I came in as a manager. Okay. So, but I dealt with like people playing games, and the worst thing is that I got the most games from the black people.
Which I'm not surprised about.
Yeah, I remember I had one girl. I mean, she gave me the blues, and she was like, "You not even supposed to be here. I was supposed to be in your job."
Oh, that's why you went.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you were supposed to be here, and me being the type of person, I'm not gonna go tit for tat with you. I don't have the energy. Well, I'm here.
Do your job,
and you work for me. So at the end of the day, I just need you to perform." And she ended up leaving. Because, you know, I guess she was just so mad. She
probably couldn't take that.
Well, she was so mad with, you know, everything that she had experienced before me. But I'm like, I wasn't here for all of that stuff. So I can't even speak.
You're not responsible for.
I mean, all of that stuff happened to you. It shouldn't have, but like, I'm not responsible for that. Like, I'm here to help you from this point forward. So, I mean, like, as far as just experience, I mean, you go through just trying to figure out, like, how do I fit in here? And how do I fit in at this leadership level? And am I learning where, you know, how I fit in? Am I learning what I need to do to get to the next step? And I feel like, you know, to some degree, I had to like prove myself a lot more than other people.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on where you at and where you work. And like, some companies respect experience as in time, whereas other companies might respect education more. So I came from a company that respected education to a company that was like, you need to work here for 10 years before, you know, you go on and do something else. And I'm like, that's not my setup. You know, especially looking around the room, like I got the most education compared to anybody in the room, which is like typically in every room.
But and I think it's interesting because when I managed people when I was in DC, it was hard because I'm young, I'm black,
You're a
woman. That's too much already.
Yeah. Curvy,
Oh, that's a whole nother situation. I'm glad you brought that up. God, this is so triggering. My issue about the way people dress when it comes to being business professional, I have been pulled over so many times about my outfit. Now, granted, I want you to understand, I was not looking like I was in the Uncle Luke video. Yeah, I'm talking about I'm in.
You curvy.
Yeah, I can't help stuff. Okay, even if I was in a burlap, you gonna see something poke. See it. Like something gonna poke out. And I've been written up before. I have gotten to almost an altercation with not my last manager, but my old job when I was younger. Cause she said something real disrespectful to me, and you know my elevator don't go all the way up to the top, and so I shut the door and I was like, how you want to handle this, sis? Because you're talking to me real reckless. It's only you and me in this office and there's no cameras.
Yeah.
But she was a white woman, so I would have been locked up for real. But
real big.
But yeah, I've had those conversations where white managers, especially male, would have these uncomfortable conversations saying, well, there's some people that's just a little bit uncomfortable with how you were dressed. And I'm like, I'm in slacks.
Yeah, I'm
in loafers, nigga. This is not something I would normally wear. I'm in a blouse. I look like Prince.
I think it's interesting that a white guy had the conversation with you, because I remember, I've been summoned to have the conversation with women because men normally feel uncomfortable having a conversation with another woman about what she's wearing. But the woman I had the conversation with, she was straight like, she looked like a slut. Like
she was in the Oval video.
That cat is hanging out. Like that
wait,
skirt
not the cat.
Meow. Okay.
Really?
Yes. I'm like,
what was she wearing? Leggings?
No, it was like a mini skirt. Like every day she would wear like mini skirt, and it was like cleavage. And like we gotta like pull this together. Like give me one and the other. Like don't give me both. Like not every day.
Oh yeah.
Didn't your grandma teach you that? If you gonna show one, you can't show the other.
Yes, but she would give
something loose at the top.
Exactly.
She would give it every day.
Yeah, I looked like I came from the British Times. Like I looked I look cute, but like I don't dress in puffer blouses. This shit is hot and uncomfortable.
If you seen her, what can you wear that's gonna be like comfortable for anybody? Like, oh, you get what I'm saying? Like
a nun's outfit.
No, because your ass still can poke out.
I mean, at least I'm in all black, so I look slimmer. I don't know. I mean, but I was
you get what I'm saying?
So once I kind of got the name of the person who was uncomfortable, and it was this white girl, and I pulled up on her.
Oh God!
So she was my coworker, and I was like, "Hey, Kels," because you know when white girls name Kelly, you gotta call them Kels. It's so special. Okay. So I was like, "Hey, Kels, do you have a sec?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Do you like my outfit?" And she was like, "Yes, killer."
But were you being petty about rolling up on her?
Yeah. I was very petty.
Yeah.
It was either that or punch her in the face. I didn't know which one to do. So God told me to be nice.
Okay.
So I was nice. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, yeah, you have a killer outfit. And I said, why does it make you uncomfortable? And she was like, oh my God, I've never said that it made me uncomfortable. I just thought like certain things just like accentuate your body like a lot. And, you know, it can just be like a lot to deal with. Because like sometimes I catch myself staring. I'm like, so you're a pervert and you're mad at me. Because you like ass and titties, so you're like a lesbian? Like, I mean, and it's no shame,
say it.
but don't try to get me like in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, because you know when white women cry,
it matters.
It
matters.
Yeah,
and like the world changes, the world stops. Yeah. You know, so I was just like, Kels, I'm like, I don't understand. So I was like, well, do you have money to buy me new clothes so I can look more accommodating for you? And she says, well, no, I accept you for who you are. Like, this is, you know, let's just not talk about this. Like, she was so uncomfortable. Her face was as red as a beet, you know, and when I would be, you know, I'm petty. So I would purposely.
Clearly.
I would purposely make my ass jiggle, like, super hard when I would walk past her. And you should see, and I'm like, maybe, baby girl, maybe you're just gay. Maybe you're just into black women. Like, and it's nothing. Okay. I will embrace you with open arms. I'm not going to be with you.
Porn thread. Let me see.
She like ebony.
Some ebony.
Ebony.
BBW
Ebony and Ivory.
Dead ass.
But I've been in so many situations where it's like, I'm either like trying to defend other people, or I'm trying to defend or
it's an empty cup right there,
myself or other black women, because once again, like, people just, they are so afraid to use their voice because they feel like I'm gonna be fired or these things are not going to happen, you know, like I'm not gonna get the promotion, you know, and people just think they're supposed to endure and suffer without speaking their truth, and that's not how it's set up. That's why HR and that stuff is all in place. You can sue these fucking people. Like, if it's really that bad, you can get you an attorney and figure some shit out if you feel like you're being discriminated against or you're dealing with sexual harassment. And like, don't take these people's things as face value and like, oh, I just have to, you know. But I
think you say it from the sense that, you know, you reported to HR and that makes it so easy, and then
Or make it the end all be all, and it's not.
But it's not like
it's levels.
It's not even that. It's necessarily levels because you got to think HR. That person still works for the company.
Yeah, so they can protect them.
Yeah, their goal is to figure out like, okay, you know, based on they're gonna complete an investigation to determine if it's legitimate or not. But they're going to protect the company's interests.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times people, like, hone in, like, I'm just going to report to HR. And it's like, well, what are you trying to get from it? Like,
I just need a paper trail.
That's it, yeah.
Well, I mean, paper trail is good, but it's like, long term, what do you want from it? Like, if your goal isn't, like, I'm going, like I know someone that had posted for, like, a job. And they told somebody that, or their manager basically was like, I don't think you're a good fit for this job. They went to HR about it. HR swept it under the rug. HR is no longer with the company. But and it's still under investigation, but it's like the fact that you had to go through all of that. But she did it because she was like, I'm tired. Like, I feel like I've been played with for like 7 years. I'm not gonna keep playing these games. But it's just like, dang, like you had to go through all of that. But then you think, based on your experiences, on my experience, like, am I gonna go down that route? And I'm like, I'm not even, if my plan and intent isn't to like file a lawsuit, I'm not giving you that much energy.
Something like that happened to me in one of my prior jobs. I had some weird shit happen between me and my coworker, and I went and told the assistant director. Well, both of my sisters. It's a black-owned company, and my assistant director was like, "What you want me to do? How you want me to handle this? Let's figure it out. Let's do this." I'm like, "Well, I want him to be fired. Like, because if you don't fire him, I'm gonna get like I got 4 or 5 nephews that's real crazy. I'm gonna get him.
They gonna fight.
They gonna come. As soon as he come out this door, it's gonna be a rap. And I don't want that, so y'all gotta figure it out." She said, "So okay, write what happened down. Write in your words. Go take it to the director. Take it to the director. The director say, She made it seem as though like I was being, and I work in a Head Start program at this time. I can't be flirtatious. I can't wear, seductive clothes. I work with
Dealing with kids.
So how did you even think that? You feel me? How did you think that like I took anything out of professionalism? I don't like. I was the head chef for this company. I was in the kitchen by myself. Like I barely see your motherfucker. So what you mean? Like she had said something to the extent of like me willingly giving him my number, and it was supposed to be something more. Well, if you gave me your number, then wasn't it supposed? I'm like no, we exchanged numbers because everybody was linking to go have drinks for his birthday. I said he took my number and he started texting and doing the most. Like,
so wait, are you not allowed to give your number out?
That's how she was making the scene. But no, we all on the same.
You were fraternizing.
But we're all on this. We're not
like some companies.
We're not managers. Yeah, but we're not managers, so we can like my director. We're her like this now. She couldn't fraternize with me at the time, but I could fraternize with the other teachers in there because I'm not like
still on the same level.
We still on the same level. Yeah. So, my thing with her was she just made it seem like it was like I was being like flirtatious. I'm like, sis, here was the messages right here. Look at the messages. Like, where do you see me even responding? This man texts me good morning every day. We in 2 different rooms. He can come in the kitchen and say good morning. He don't got to text me and say good morning.
He wanted you to respond.
He wanted me to respond. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like, and I gave this man some seeds one day because he said that was his favorite kind. It wasn't even nothing that deep.
That's what you call it.
Basically. But he came in.
Seeds come in white.
You feel me? He came in the kitchen like the next day and kissed me and I like 2-pieced him. And that was my issue.
So like, that escalated very quickly.
You got sexual harassment.
You feel what I'm saying?
HR.
You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So because it's a black owned Head Start program, and I went. They don't have an HR. It's just run by the owner. She got like different ones in different states, so it's just run by her. Like she is HR, like, and she's just as ghetto as they come. So when I saw how my director dealt with it, like I didn't even talk to nobody. She came to me. She could pull me in office again. It might have happened like a Thursday. She talked to him Friday. I don't think I was there that day.
So she completed her own investigation.
She did her own investigation. Mm-hmm. Was like, well, y'all just gonna stay away from each other.
Oh,
what?
That's it.
All right. Well, hey,
it's just time out for the kids.
Pull this. Here you go. 2-week notice. You sure you want to leave? The fuck I sure do. What if we give you? I don't want no extra money. Fuck you, but I'm going. I can't.
For me, I just want people to. She said. It's because this does a lot.
And it was no
corporate America is such a tricky thing, whether it's owned by white or black people.
Yes.
And like I said, the more money, more problems. Like you just deal with so much. But I think that fraternizing thing is very interesting. And I'm gonna tell y'all, read y'all motherfucking handbooks because
like a motherfucker. Everything.
Now, this current position that I'm in, I haven't read it all, but every position that I've been in, I actually took the time out to read it so I can read the colonizers for filth, because I'm like, baby, the bylaw on Chapter 11, 2.69 says.
I mean, just because it's in the bylaws don't mean that they abide by it.
True. And guess what? I'm calling my Jewish attorney, and we're going to have a conversation about whatever we need to have a conversation about.
Fraternization.
Because I got in trouble for talking to a doctor because I helped him with something, and I was in a hospital.
The fuck was that supposed to do?
You talk to a doctor. And
he asked me a question, but he was young. He was a resident. He was very attractive. I would have listen.
She threw the cat. Meow.
I was actually too afraid to. I wasn't like super aggressive.
Were you working at the hospital?
I was working at the hospital, and I did have a crush on him, but I never crossed that line because I was just petrified. Right. You know, granted, we would flirt here and there, but it was nothing like inappropriate. He would bring me coffee sometimes, but I worked doubles, and so like sometimes when I would see him leaving, I would also see him when he came in to do rounds.
Right.
And he's like, man, like, you're working like crazy. Like, do you want some coffee or something? I'm like, oh, thanks. And then one of the white girls saw it and then reported.
Because she got jealous.
Yeah, because she wanted to smash. But he didn't like white girls. He's in California. That should have been my husband. But that's all.
It's not too late
there. It ain't too late yet.
He's right
married. You can go visit him with Andrea Drummer.
That would be our first date. We just get high together. So I definitely want to say thank you guys for like having this conversation. It's something that needs to be had. I think, especially Black women, because it's so much to it. Whether it's the way we look, the way we dress, the way we talk, our names, you know. And that's the one thing I have to say. You know, don't let these people fuck up your name.
Nah.
Because that's royalty in that shit. Yep. Like, I don't care if your name is Octavius or Octavian.
What's that girl with like 26 name? She was
because if you look at all of the Greek people or Latin names and all this stuff, Rakobakshkanov, and they learn that shit. So you gonna learn Shaniqua. Like, you gonna learn this.
And Vermeka.
You gonna learn Sarita. You gonna learn all this shit. And it doesn't make you ghetto. It doesn't make you less intelligent. It doesn't make you anything. You're just a Black person existing in this name. So make sure they spell it right and they say it right. Because
the worst is when you send an email with your name spelled,
and they send it back.
And they respond and they misspell your name.
So my thing is with the name thing, and my name is Torri, my real name. But it's like historian without the his. So how the fuck can't you read? Why you keep saying terrain? Why you keep saying terrain? Why you keep saying terrain?
Baby.
It's Torian. Like
they always get my last name wrong.
Okay.
If you look at every degree or certificate or trophy I've received, it is not the right name.
Really? Well, my last name Golden, so you can like
mine is Tompkins, so it's Tom. Yeah. They'll get Thompson, Tompkins.
Thompson, okay.
And they're like, THOM. Are you sure it's a P? No, bitch, I ain't sure. It's not on my birth certificate. I wouldn't know my own name, but thank you for asking if I'm sure about. That's where the letter is inserted, but I just cannot. But I do think you should stand up for yourself. And if you have a dream to be an entrepreneur, I know that's not an easy part either, but like start thinking about the end goal. Don't just operate in the space of like, oh, I'm just getting money. Because it's like, what truly brings value into your life? Not everybody is supposed to be an entrepreneur, but if that's your calling, invest in that. Don't get caught up in the corporate structure. Because I know for me, I'm done next year. I'm calling it quits.
So I'll say this, and this is me telling my sister's story. But my sister worked at. Again, I told y'all we worked together. I felt like I helped her get the job. She worked there for 3 years. Miserable. She hated it. And so she literally put them in a place where they had to fire her. Okay. And she was okay with that. Like, that was her plan. I want you to fire me because I'm about to go and do my own thing. My sister does hair. She does a great job. She found a spot at a shop, started doing hair at that shop. Went to another shop, started doing hair at that shop. Now she owns her own salon. She has 2 stylists at her salon.
Yes,
everyone does hair. She sells pomades, Salon Create.
Yes, come on, plug it in.
She sells hair oil. She is like working on becoming a personal trainer. She does juice diets. Like she does all of this. And so like her biggest thing is that I went to a place where like, you know, professional or corporate America was pushed to me to say that was what was for me, but I had to learn that that's not for me.
Exactly.
And she literally has taken off in like a year. like from not a year in essence, but like you know with her business. I think she like launched it August of last year when she opened the doors. So like you just said, it might not be for everybody corporate America, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
But it's just knowing what your passion is and how you proceed forward with that.
Yeah. Like invest in your purpose.
Yeah, I don't think that corporate America is for me.
Clearly,
we're not right.
You're an entrepreneur.
Right. But before that, like I never wanted to work in a corporate America space. I think my mother worked for Big Daddy, so I always spent a lot of time in the homeless shelters and helping with her. People. Yeah, so I was like, and we never like. When my mother, she had to go speak to the governor and mayors, and she was dealing with Big Daddy being her assistant. I seen my mother code switch them, but she was always herself. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? She, she kind of wanted us to like be proper and have good manners, but I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't.
And it's hard because some stuff is culturally, and some stuff is like your own individual space. Mm-hmm. But Black people we just been conditioned like go to school, get a job, work that thing till you die, get your little pension, your Social Security,
and go to sleep,
and die, and be happy with your spouse. But we have to start reevaluating that because just because that's what they did and they had some form of success, that's not our version of what success looks like, especially for Black creatives and Black entrepreneurs. Like, I'm not saying just go be stupid and quit your job and like, oh, I'm just gonna take off. Don't quote me. But we don't come from a place of privilege where like a Donald Trump can be like, hey, Dad, I want to start some shit. Hey, I'm gonna give you $1 million and
your apartment building.
But we have to start creating that for our future generations, and that's why we have to plant our seeds now, so in the future they don't have to endure what we endure. But I'm so grateful for this generation because we're starting to see things and starting to awaken and start really living in things that make us happy. We're not just, I'm just going to work a 9 to 5 just because I'm working a 9 to 5. But it's like, okay, I'm going to work this. I'm going to have a side hustle here. I might do a little lift here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to use this to open a barbershop. I'm going to use this to be a baker. I'm going to use this to be a podcaster. It's so many different things. So like I said, I'm not knocking people in the corporate space, but if you know that's not your end all be all, really start putting your goals and your dreams and really start journaling and really start manifesting praying like what you truly desire, because you're going to be fucking miserable and it's not worth it.
Yep, it's not.
So thanks again for coming, y'all.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me in this space. I learned a lot from y'all being in corporate America.
It's gonna be more Mika than me, baby, because 2021 baby girl is out. Baby girl is out. And if I gotta make an OnlyFans, I don't care. But baby girl out 2021.
I had one.
I cannot.
I ain't put nothing on it yet, though.
Delete that.
Please
no.
That's not your entrepreneur goal.
No.
Not the OnlyFans.
Oh, Cake Spot Torri it is. Follow me on IG.
Yes, her stuff is amazing. Please follow her. Buy stuff from her.
Thank you.
So for our Ask to Read this week, Leah said that she constantly has to code switch at work, but she wants to stay true to herself. What should she do?
Stay true to
herself.
Stay
true to yourself, bitch.
Say it again, guys. Yeah, stay true to yourself. There's nothing wrong with you can still be, like you said, it's about your tone and how professional you are. You can still be yourself and still, have a good tone and still be professional. Be you, sis.
Yeah, but if you're going out your way to be something that you're not, then stop.
You're not happy.
Like, you don't have to do it. Like me, don't use me as an example because obviously there's a Becky Sue in here somewhere and she comes out whenever she wants. Yep. However, everything is on my terms. I'm not going out of my way to make people feel comfortable.
Right.
But if it's something I choose to do, like jokingly, or I'm just like in that space, then I do it. But if you feel forced, baby girl, stay true.
Yeah, stay true to yourself.
Because I feel like you'll struggle on the back end.
Yeah, you're going to be so
really
unhappy.
You're not going to ever really fit
and you'll never keep up with that. You'll never be able to keep up that appearance or that outward.
You won't
they
remember.
Don't even know what the perfection of it is. You get what I'm saying? Like, no.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. So, Leah, just stay true. Be yourself, girl. We love you. Okay. So for our words of wisdom this week is not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be faced until it is faced. And that is by James Baldwin. So quick little thing, like whatever you are going through, you won't be able to go through it if you don't face it. And a lot of people who are going through these cycles of life and have all these questions and all these tough times with COVID and things like that, like you repeat cycles when you don't go through them. Like, life is a feeling experience and you have to confront your demons head on. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. So there's some things you're gonna have to face in order to get to the other side, and that's just part of the sacrifice and part of discipline and being a better person so you can evolve and grow. So thanks again, ladies, for coming.
Sure thing.
And I'll see you guys next week.
All right.